Today we're going to read a little bit more about the Lakota Sioux tribe as we continue to learn about Native Americans. And today's story is called Where's Winona? Now, in this story, we're going to hear a lot about the phrase, practice makes perfect. Have you ever heard that phrase before? Practice makes perfect means that by practicing or doing something over and over again, you can get better and better at doing something. So think to yourself, what is something that you practiced and then got better and better at? Like I practiced riding my bike and now I can ride my bike and it's pretty easy for me because I practice and practice and practice until I got better. What did you practice? Keep that in your brain as we read. All right, so a vocabulary starts with the word chief. A chief is a person who's in charge of a tribe. This picture is of Chief Joseph. He was a chief of a tribe himself. And it's really important to know that the chief was shown a lot of respect in most Native American tribes. Our next word is mischief. Mischief is a behavior that can be naughty or against the rules. So this dog is making mischief by climbing onto the car. He's not supposed to be doing that. Our next word is parfleche. And a parfleche is a small bag made from animal hide or leather, like this. The next word is Trevoy. A Trevoy is a type of sled used to carry a teepee and other belongings. So like you can see in this picture, you could attach a Trevoy to a horse and then carry your things around. Now remember, we've been talking about Native Americans who could also be called American Indians or Indigenous people or just by the name of their tribe. And if you ever meet someone who is a Native American, you should probably ask what they would prefer to be called. But the tribe that we've been learning about is the Lakota Sioux. I see a map of the world right now. We're actually going to learn a song about the continents later on that I'm going to put on Seesaw. But for right now, I'm just going to say the continents out loud. We have Antarctica, Australia, Asia, Africa, Europe, South America, and North America. We're going to zoom into the Americas, South America and North America. We're going to zoom into North America, and we're going to zoom into the United States because we're talking about the Lakota Sioux who live in the Great Plains, right about here. You've already learned some things about the Lakota Sioux, so today you're going to listen to learn more. Today's story is about a Lakota Sioux girl named Mapia. Listen carefully to learn about Mapia's daily life. This is Mapia, a Lakota Sioux girl. Why do you think she looks so happy? Every year, Mapia looks forward to moving with her family to their summer camp. After several days of traveling from their winter camp, they have finally arrived at Mapia's favorite place. They've moved here to hunt buffalo. While the men hunt for buffalo, Mapia and her family will live in this special spot with other Lakota Sioux families until the days shorten, signaling fall. This is Mapia's family. Her mother, her father, her grandmother, her little sister Tashna, and her baby brother, Chaitan. Do you see anything in the picture that's made from buffalo skin? Yes, their clothing and moccasins are made of buffalo skins. And their teepees or houses are actually made of the buffalo as well. So this is made out of buffalo and their clothing as well. Think how easy it would be to carry your house with you if you lived in a teepee. Teepees are easily taken apart and put back together again. And if you look closely at the picture, you can see two poles near the horse's head, right here. A frame is connected to the poles behind the horse, right here, forming a Trevoy, like we talked about, a type of sled used to pull the family's teepee and other belongings. And that's their dad right there, who looks like he's connecting the Trevoy. What do you see in this picture? Mapia and her family never stay in one place for long. Lakota Sioux families move frequently, following the buffalo across the plains. Mapia's mother is the one who always packs and unpacks the teepee and belongings, Before leaving the winter camp, Mapia's mother piled their clothing, blankets, and rugs onto the backs of horses. Many things were loaded onto a Trevoy. Even grandmother and Tashna rode on a Trevoy. Chaitan traveled on a cradleboard on Mother's back. A cradleboard is a board that many Native American tribes use to carry babies around. Right here you can see it on the mom's back, and the little baby is in there. Kind of like what you might see now with a baby being in a sling. Mapia packed her toys into a parfleche, a small bag made of buffalo hide. It's right here. She took special care with her doll, Winona, wrapping her up in a little fur blanket before putting her into the parfleche. Mother made Winona for Mapia. Mother also helped Mapia sew clothes and little beaded moccasins for the doll. Mapia loves Winona very much. The Lakota Sioux are busy setting up their new summer camp. Their teepees form a circle with all the doorways facing in the same direction, east, away from the strong winds that blow across the plains from the west. They are set up in order of the family's importance. Since the chief is the person in charge of the tribe, his teepee is the most important. Mapia's father is a respected hunter and warrior, or fighter, so his family's teepee is near the chief's. Mapia's family will raise its teepee beside some cottonwood trees. Mother leans Chaitan's cradleboard against the tree trunk in the shade. Right there, he's so cute. He is fast asleep. Mapia usually has to watch over little Tashna, but today grandmother will look after her. She will take her over to visit Mapia's aunt because her teepee has been raised already. Mapia is glad to be given a break. Tashna is always getting into mischief. Probably because she's so little. Mother starts raising the teepee's frame with its long, thin wooden poles. To build the teepee, Mother ties 3 poles together. Using a long rope, she pulls them upright to form the shape of a triangle. This makes a strong base. Then she adds more poles to the frame, leaning them against the notch formed by the 3 poles at the top. The teepee cover is attached to the last pole. Lifting that pole up at the back of the teepee, Mother leans it into the other poles. Then Mapia helps her pull the cover around the poles, making the walls of the teepee. They join the 2 sides of the cover with pegs, leaving an opening for the doorway under the last peg. During the hot summer months, they will roll the teepee cover up from the bottom to let in air. The smoke hole at the top of the teepee can be opened and closed too, allowing smoke to escape or air to flow in. At last, the teepee is completed. Mapia thinks about her own toy teepee. She wants to set it up for her doll, Winona. Mapia will put it together again, just as her mother did with the little family's teepee. By copying her mother in play, Mapia learns how to do the things that she'll have to do one day when she's a grown-up. Mapia finds the parfleche in which she packed her toys lying open on the ground. She reaches inside and pulls out the soft deerskin teepee cover and the little wooden poles. Winona's little fur blanket is there too, but Winona is not inside the blanket. Mapia pulls everything out of the bag. No Winona. Worried, Mapia searches through the other bags, but her doll is not inside any of them. Did Winona fall out of the bag when the family was traveling there? Is the little doll lost in the long grass that covers the plains? So much grass, such a long trip. If Winona fell along the way, how will Mapia find her? Mapia's father finds her searching for Winona in the long grass. Have you seen my doll? Mapia asks him. No, he answers. I found my parfleche open. Maybe Winona fell out along the way. Don't worry, Father says. I was the one who took all the parfleches off the horses when we got here. None of them were open. Your doll could not have fallen out along the way. Mapia joins her mother, who has made a fire and is starting to cook. Father tightens his bow as Chaitan continues to sleep. Mother, have you seen Winona? Asks Mapia. No, says Mother. I haven't seen your doll. Just then, Chaitan wakes up and starts to cry. Of all the family, Mapia is the best at getting Chaitan to stop crying. She goes over to the tree, makes a silly face, and sticks out her tongue. Chaitan stops crying. He laughs and laughs. And that's when Mapia sees them. Do you see what Mapia sees? What do you think she sees? Two little beaded moccasins poking upside down from the cradle board. She tugs hard. Out come the legs, then the dress, then the arms, and then the head of Winona. Mapia gives Winona a big hug. Mapia asks, "How did you get in there, silly girl?" At that moment, Tashna toddles over from Auntie's teepee, with Grandmother trying her best to keep up. Tashna sees the doll. "Nona!" she exclaims. She pulls Winona out of Mapia's hand and sticks the doll back inside Chaitan's cradle board. "Now I know who did it," says Mapia. "It was little sister." "You are right," Mapia says Mother. "I suppose tomorrow I will have to make Tashna a doll of her own." What a lovely story. I hope you all liked it. Get ready to answer your questions on Seesaw and talk about this story with Mr. Malcolm.